Hi and welcome to episode 50 of this China Tool series. And remember, if you want to see more episodes, you can look at my site to see a ranking among all the products I tested and the episodes where I reviewed them. Hello again, my name is Dennis and I am from Mohoo Sharpening. And in this episode I review this lovely looking T-Square from Hongdui. And those who follow my channel know that Hongdui products have scored the highest score so far. And every reviewer I could find online who has tried this product cannot stress enough how great it is. But I have to say that unfortunately I did not find it the best product from Hongdui. Not from a quality point of view, because the quality is simply outstanding. But when I used it, there were too many points that needed to be improved in my opinion to make it worth the money. Because this is not an affordable tool. So I contacted Hongdui and told them why I was somewhat disappointed. And their response was pretty surprising and exciting at the same time. But I will return to that later. But you will love it. So let us first take a closer look at this Hongdui T-Square. And there's much to be excited about when you look at this T-Square. It is packed carefully, it has a decent manual, and most importantly the T-Square looks nothing less than impressive. And like almost all Hongdui products, the quality and fit and finish is at the highest level and comparable with that of the best in the market. And when I opened the box I was so enthusiastic about it. But I have to be honest that this enthusiasm slowly disappeared the longer I worked with it. This T-Square has different functions. And it is not easy to develop a product that covers multiple functions, but do this in a way that it is not that much of a compromise compared to a specific tool for these functions. And it's obviously a T-Square. And of all its functions, this is its primarily most used and by that most important function. And there are too many minor issues that I wouldn't say I like when using it. First are the holes. The holes are too small to use an 0.5mm pencil with its metal piece. So you need a longer point on your pencil, and because of that it breaks too easily on solid or veneered wood. And when I use a 1mm pencil, it fits so tight that it also breaks too easily. The T-Square only comes with a combined metric and increment scale. And this can be useful if you use both of these systems, but for me I only need a metric scale, which is not possible. So if I have to use it left-handed, I need to bend over to read the scale. But I think in general these kind of tools need the same scale on both sides, so you can easily mark measurements at the wood's edge. But also you use these T-rulers on both sides in practice, and the easiest way to work with them is using the side you face. This is a short message that when you need some inspiration to make the best out of your workshop, visit my website www.hookedonwood.online. Here you will find all the ideas I came up with to improve my workshop. And now I offer detailed plans for most of these ideas. So visit www.hookedonwood.online. And lastly, I think the skill's readability can be improved. For example, the most natural would be when the longest line corresponds to 20mm in this case. But the line from the hole in the middle corresponds with it. And of course you can get used to this, but I think it will be more apparent when you set the hole so the longest line corresponds with the most important numbers. And because there is a giant gap in the ruler's middle, it's not as rigid as a solid T-ruler. And initially I was afraid it would be too weak, but the edges stayed perfectly straight. However, it would be best to spread the sliding pieces over the ruler's length to maximize its rigidity. Most importantly, I did not discover any issues with its accuracy, and when the modules are spread evenly, the rigidity is comparable with that of a solid ruler. And you can argue if a T-Square needs to be fixed at exactly 90 degrees or create the possibility to adjust it. And I find it a positive point when you can adjust a T-ruler, even if this means you need a reference. And with two screws you can adjust the T-ruler to make it perfectly square. And when tighten it, it creates a solid connection. But in the end, I find myself preferring to grab a regular T-ruler when I need one, which should not be the case when you spend this amount of money. The second function is to use it as a drill guide. And I have to say I like this function, and I can imagine using it when it is so easily accessible. And you can slide the drill guide to the proper distance from the edge, and the needle on the side of the drill guide allows you to place it at the right x-axis. But if you want to drill multiple holes, let's say a square at 20 and 30 centimeters for example, you must draw a pretty long line on the x-axis because you do not know precisely where the 20 and 30 centimeters points will be. So I think it would be far more practical to just mark the x-axis position at the wood's edge. Then there should be a needle or something at the starting position. And there's none. But there is a small notch that can function as one with some minor adjustments to the design. And that would make this function of this T-Square perfect. And this T-Square comes delivered with 3, 4, 5 and 6 millimeter bushings. And not only can you accurately drill a hole at the right spot, but because of the higher steel guide bushing, it will also create a perfect straight hole. So I found this a surprisingly nice feature that fits this T-Square very well without too many compromises. And the third function is to use this T-Square to draw circles. And because it is 60 centimeters long, you can draw pretty big circles. But how does it work? You can separate the base from the ruler. And there is a small needle at one side, and you can set the sliding line module to the correct diameter of the circle. And at the back, a marking point makes it easy to set up it accurately. And I must say that drawing a circle this way, especially larger circles, is straightforward. But it becomes more challenging when you want to add another circle to make a ring, for example. You cannot set the line module from above. There's no needle that holds it against the scale. So you must remove it from the pivot hole to change the settings. However, placing the pin back in the correct position is not that easy. In this case, I could feel the hole, so that made it work. But if I tried to place it in a specific position, I found it too difficult to do this accurately. And here I made 2 attempts at the best I could, but I could not get it at the precise spot. The needle is too difficult to see for that. But besides that, I was able to create perfectly accurate circles. But there's one drawback when using it to make these circles. Separating the base and the ruler does not work very straightforward, and I only managed to do this by losing the screws to adjust the T-ruler. And this basically means that you have to recalibrate it when you have separated the base and the ruler. And although this costs only little time, it does not make it more practical either. So to summarize, perhaps I'm a bit harsh on this T-ruler. So to put things in perspective, although I think they can improve the scale, it's also not that hard to get used to it. And I really like the drill guide, and I see the potential of using it because you can get very straight and accurate place holes without too many compromises. And I will probably not often use the circle drawing possibilities. Still, I do not have alternatives when I have to draw larger circles. So when I occasionally need to use it, I will accept the fact that I have to recalibrate the ruler again. My problem is that I see so much potential in this T-Square. It looks so stunning, and I believe it can be a multifunctional tool that you can actually use in all these specific areas without too many compromises. So that's why I contacted Hongdui to tell them basically what I just showed you in this video. And I usually now reach the point where I rate this product. But in this case, I do not have to do this because they stopped the production in reaction to my comments. And of course, I did not know how well they would respond to my suggestions. But I was surprised to discover their drive to make this T-Square the best in the market. And as a result, I'm so excited that I can tell you that we are in the middle of developing and producing a hooked on wood version of this T-Square. And I'm so happy about this project because based on where we stand now, I think we will succeed in making one of the best practical combination T-Squares in the market. And we plan to launch it in March. Isn't that exciting? I'm in the middle of a larger project and I did not have the time to include other products for review in this video. But I'm so thrilled about this new adventure that I had to make this video. Still, of course, as I told you in the beginning of this video, you can find a ranking of all the products I tested that are worthy of consideration. So visit my website. Thank you for watching, and well, we see each other next time.